not being recognized as an American is one thing. You're supposed to be recognized by where you are. You're having that citizenship, but the country is not recognizing them as yours. So it's not.
But whites are so hypocritical. They don't want to admit that this black man is not a citizen. So they classify him as a second-class citizen to get around making him a real citizen. If he was a real citizen, you'd need no more laws. You'd need no civil rights legislation. Civil rights, when you have civil rights, you have citizenship. It's automatic. White people don't need laws to protect their citizenship because they're citizens. But they don't want to tell us we're not citizens. And at the same time, they don't want to pass laws that are meaningful enough to protect us as if we were citizens. And the Supreme Court desegregation decision is the best example I know.
Hi.
I'm Evans. What's your name?
I'm Sandra Happiness.
Sandra Happiness?
Yeah, that's my name.
You look happy.
Yeah, obvious. Always.
Wow. So are you Kenyan or?
Yeah, I'm a Kenyan. I'm proud to be a Kenyan.
Wow. Are you also a proud African?
Of course, yeah, I'm proud.
Wow.
Yeah.
So in a scale of 10, how would you rate Africa?
Yeah, in a scale of 10, I give Africa 7.
7?
Yeah.
Why would you give Africa 7?
Personally, I give African 7 because of some of the challenges that Africa is going through compared to Western countries. Yeah. Okay, first of it all is about the corruption that Africa as whole is undergoing compared to Western countries. Yeah, that is one. Then secondly, as Africans, we are kind back compared to Western countries in terms of industrialization and education. We are lagged behind.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, very true, according to my own observations.
I hope sometime in the future you'll give us 10 over 10.
Of course, yeah. And I'm proudly working against all odds to make sure that as Africans, more so Kenya, we achieve that 10 over 10. Yeah.
So as an African and as a young Kenyan girl,
yeah,
do you think Africa we should have a borderless policy? Borderless brings cohesion because there is no boundaries.
Yeah, it's true. I didn't get your question at first.
Okay.
Yeah, borderless policy should be adopted.
Should be adopted.
Yeah.
For example, you know we have trade blocks like the East African Community. We have ECOWAS in West Africa. Then we have SADC in South Africa. How effective do you think is the African Union?
The African Union, personally, I don't think it's that effective as it should be.
Yes.
Because the leaders that are there do not have that unity in working to ensure that we achieve as African nation.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what do you think is causing all this trouble that we have in the AU?
I think the major thing that is causing all the trouble that we have in AU, first is the government system that we are having as African countries. First of all, African countries, their leaders are based on corruption based. So they do not have that unity in working together. Countries are fighting among themselves, and yet we are Africans. So that is the major thing that is lagging AU behind.
Do you think Africa is conducive for Africans?
I don't think so, according to what we are seeing. Yeah.
What is it you are seeing?
We're seeing most of the African people, like for example, we take Kenya as one of the example because I'm a Kenyan. You'll find that most of the people want to go and either pursue education, work, or do their things from Western countries. For example, most of the people you'll find they're going to Qatar, Dubai, Saudi Arabia, and many others. So it means according to Africans themselves, the Africa itself is not conducive for them to do their things and ensure success of their own things.
Do you think Africa has the capacity to provide for Africans?
Yeah, actually we have. As Africans, we have that capacity to provide for our own Africans, and we can make it. We can achieve that conducive environment to ensure that Africans get what they want in their respective countries and not go to suffer slavery in other Western countries. We can, as Africans.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
True.
So let's cross the borders. Who is an African?
According to me, an African is a person who endures the Africanization. First of all, the way he or she does her things, he or she takes, or what he or she involves in. For example, you cannot tell me you love African or you are an African and yet you have a kind of dual citizenship. and your citizenship major is in USA, you're not displaying the Africanization in you, what you put on, what you do, and what you engage yourself in. So an African is a person who endures and loves her community, her country, and everything, and does everything that displays Africanization. African.
Wow.
Yeah. The black American is an African.
So some of them say they ain't Africans.
They say they ain't Africans, but according to USA, they don't recognize them. That's why they are called niggers. If they recognize them as theirs, then they should be called whites, but they called black Africans.
You have such a very, very important point.
Yeah.
You see, yesterday I was checking this documentary about African people and Malcolm X. He said what you've just said. America does not recognize the black Americans as citizens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true, they don't. If they could recognize Africans as whites, then they should be called whites, but they call them black Africans, also the niggers. So they don't recognize them as Africans.
So do you think America is conducive for black people?
I don't think so. Because if it's conducive for them, then they shouldn't be going what they're going through. They shouldn't be going through those, like for example, all the challenges they're facing. Not being recognized as an American is one thing. You're supposed to be recognized by where you are. You're having that citizenship, but the country is not recognizing them as yours. So it's not conducive for you. In case of anything, they can be chased away. My take on racism, actually, I'm against racism because all of us are God's creature, yeah? So despite the fact they are whites, we are Africans. Cohesion, we can work together and achieve what we want. But racism, we should fight in all means to ensure that racism is not there.
So this woman is doing a herbal lightning glow bath, which I feel is very pathetic. They are pouring this concoction on her face. Doesn't make any sense. Like, I mean, just buy face wash and exfoliate. They are using fire to steam, guys. Like, they are literally roasting her like fried chicken.
African girls, they don't like the black skin. They'd rather bleach themselves and look like the white person.
True.
Why do you think there's this brainwash?
Okay, the brainwash thing comes in as a result of not accepting yourself. They do think that, well, for example, when you're proud black, that melanin thing cannot make you achieve one or two. But we can, okay, girls, I like girls to emulate some people. For example, personally, I love Lupita Nyong'o and Rubevi. Yeah, those are my mentors. Yeah. So we can emulate them. Just be proud of your skin. Against all odds, you can achieve with that African skin. The melanin is so quite good. It's a plus on us.
Wow. If you have any message, what would that be for that African girl who wants to look like a white person?
For me, what I'll tell that African girl that wants to change her being to look like that white, I'll tell her, black is beauty. And in that skin, whether melanin or that white skin, you can achieve. For example, Lupita, she's recognized. American is proud of her, but she's a black African. She's black herself. For the black American people, I would like to tell them, yes, you're there for many reasons, maybe studies, maybe work, or anything that took you there, but be proud of African. Can you be ambassador of Africa while you are out there? Because Africa is our business. We are Africa and Africa is our business.
Wow.
Yeah.
I really love that.
Thank you.
I feel that I should not let you go.
No. You should.
The last message.
They should. In fact, they should be the champion. They should be the pioneer in that case. They should go and look for these black Africans that are in America. First of all, they can do they should do mass communication to ensure that these black Africans are enlightened on the importance of being an African, on the importance and the need to be where you're supposed to be. For example, Kenya, they should enlighten some of the Kenyans who are there in USA why they need to be part of us, why they need to be here. When they do what they are doing in outside countries, they do it in our own home country, which is Kenya, then we should be progressing as a nation. So what I can say, the government should be the forefront to champion that thing, that all Kenyans be back in this country. And in fact, they should find a conducive way in which they will encourage them to come.
Yourself, would you choose to go and study in USA and leave Africa?
Personally, I recognize Yeah, personally, I say I recognize the Kenyan education as global. I call it global education because when I get my studies, proper studies here in Kenya, we have better universities. For example, KU, it's a good university. Well, I take my studies serious here in Kenyatta University. Trust me, I can work anywhere in this world. Our studies are global wise. So I would rather choose to do all my studies here in Kenya. Yeah, in case of anything, work abroad, but my studies be best here in Kenya.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. Thank you too. Thank you for.
I think you'll find, sir, that there will come a time when black people wake up and become intellectually independent enough to think for themselves, as other humans are intellectually independent enough to think for themselves. Then the black man will think like a black man, and he will feel for other black people. And this new thinking and feeling will cause black people to stick together. And then at that point, you'll have a situation where when you attack one black man, you are attacking all